You're lying in bed, room pitch black, phone face down on the nightstand. You pick it up to check the time, and it just unlocks. No light turned on, no fumbling for a passcode. That should feel strange. There's no way a camera captured a usable picture of your face in total darkness. And yet it worked instantly, the same way it works with messy hair, a new beard, or reading glasses on. Most people just accept this as magic and move on. It's not magic. It's one of the more clever pieces of consumer hardware Apple has ever shipped, and almost nobody understands what's actually happening in that 1/3 of a second. Here's the misconception first. People assume Face ID is basically a selfie camera comparing photos, like it snaps a picture of you and matches it to a picture on file. That's exactly how it does not work, and that distinction matters a lot. A photo is flat. It's just light hitting a sensor, and photos can be faked, stolen, or replicated. Apple built Face ID around something fundamentally different, depth. It's not asking, does this look like you? It's asking, is this shaped like you? That single design choice is why Face ID has stayed remarkably hard to fool for years, while plenty of photo-based face unlock systems on other devices have been tricked with a printed picture. So how do you measure the shape of face? Look at the top of your iPhone. That notch or pill-shaped cutout houses more than just a regular camera. There's a component called a dot projector, and it does something wild. It fires out over 30,000 invisible infrared dots onto your face in a specific pattern. Infrared just means light outside what your eyes can see, so you feel nothing and see nothing happening. Those dots land on the contours of your face, following the bumps of your nose, the slope of your cheekbones, the curve of your eye sockets. It's essentially invisible light stencil being projected onto you 30,000 times over every single time you look at your phone. Right next to that dot projector sits an infrared camera, and its only job is to photograph that dot pattern as it lands on your face. Because your face isn't flat, the dots don't land evenly, they distort. Dots on your nose sit closer to the camera and appear one way. Dots near your ears sit farther back and appear differently. The infrared camera captures that distortion pattern in detail. There's also a flood illuminator working alongside it, bathing your face in a steady wash of infrared light, so the system can still see you even in a completely dark room. That's the darkness trick solved right there. Infrared light doesn't need visible light to work at all. Now the system has raw data, essentially thousands of distance measurements describing the exact 3D shape of your face. This gets converted into what's called a depth map, basically a detailed 3D model, almost like a topographic map of mountains and valleys, except the mountains are your cheekbones and the valleys are your eye sockets. A neural network, a type of pattern recognition software trained on faces, processes this map and converts it into mathematical measurements. It's not storing an image of you anywhere. It's storing numbers, geometric relationships between points on your face, distance ratios that are extremely difficult to replicate with a mask or a photo, because those objects don't have your exact bone structure. That mathematical model gets stored in something called a secure enclave, a separate, isolated chip inside your iPhone that's walled off from the rest of the operating system. This matters more than people realize. Your face data never gets uploaded to Apple servers, never leaves your device, and apps never get direct access to it. When Face ID checks your identity, it doesn't hand your face data to the App Store or your banking app. It just sends a yes or no answer. This is a genuinely strong privacy design, not just marketing language. Compare that to systems where biometric data sits in a shared database somewhere, and you start to see why security researchers have generally respected this specific architecture. Here's the part most explainers skip. Face ID isn't checking a single frozen reference photo against your face forever. Apple designed it to quietly update its stored model of you over time, provided a passcode unlock confirms it's really you. That's why it can handle you growing a beard, aging over years, wearing new glasses, or just looking tired one morning. Each successful unlock, especially ones followed by a passcode entry, can slightly retrain the mathematical model to account for gradual changes. This adaptive learning is genuinely underrated. It's the reason Face ID doesn't degrade the way people assumed biometric systems would, needing constant manual resets every time your appearance shifted even slightly. But adaptive as it is, Face ID has real limits. And this is where the hype needs a reality check. Identical twins share near-identical bone structure, which means their depth maps can be close enough to fool the system. Apple has acknowledged this directly, It's not a bug. It's a mathematical limitation of comparing skeletal geometry. Certain sunglasses that block infrared light specifically, not just visible light, can also block the dot projector's pattern entirely, which is why some sunglasses cause Face ID to fail while regular ones don't. And masks, despite what people assume, generally don't work either because Face ID also checks for attention and liveness, meaning it wants to see your eyes open and aware, not just a shape. That liveness check deserves its own mention because it's an underappreciated defense. The system is specifically looking for signs that a real, alert human is present. Open eyes looking at the screen, not a photo held up, not someone unconscious, not a static mask. This is why elaborate hacking attempts you've seen in demos, using detailed silicone masks or 3D printed heads, have needed extraordinary precision to have any chance at all, and even then results have been inconsistent. Compare this to photo-based face unlock on cheaper Android devices from years back, some of which really could be fooled with a printed photograph. That gap in security architecture is not a minor technical footnote. It's a fundamentally different category of protection. So how big a deal is all this, really? Bigger than most people give it credit for, honestly. We've normalized unlocking our phones with our faces so completely that nobody stops to think about the engineering underneath it. Dot projectors, infrared floodlights, neural networks, a walled-off security chip, all working together in a third of a second, dozens of times a day without you noticing any of it. My honest take, this is one of the rare cases where the marketing claim and the technical reality actually line up. It's not perfect. Twins and specific infrared blocking sunglasses are legitimate gaps. But as consumer biometric security goes, this is closer to genuinely well-engineered than overhyped. Where does this go next? Expect the underlying sensors to keep shrinking and getting cheaper, which is likely why similar depth sensing approaches keep showing up in more devices over time. Not just phones, but potentially other everyday hardware you interact with. The core idea, verifying identity through physical shape rather than a flat image, is probably going to outlast whatever specific chip generation Apple is using right now. If you found this useful, there's a lot more tech that quietly runs your daily life explained the same way on this channel. No jargon, no fluff, just what's actually happening under the hood. Subscribe if you want more of that, and I'll see you in the next one.